PennsylvaniaBeer.com and Bison Beverage of Lewisburg presents Beer Time.
Beer Time. I'm Scott Bernstein, my producer Chad Evans, and I am here in studio with the guru, Guy the Guru.
Hey,
Guy
how's it going, Scott?
Good.
Thanks
good.
for bringing me in.
So, Guy, you've been in beer for a long time.
Yeah, about 20 years.
Tell me a little bit about your resume.
Oh, man. So went from washing dishes at a bar in Sullivan County to running a brewery to now being an area sales manager for the fastest growing brewery in the nation.
Now Sullivan County, that just has one town, right?
Yeah. Well, there's several towns, one red light. So there's Dushore, there's LaPorte, there's...
What's the pub downtown? What's that?
So Dushore would probably be the most downtownish of the Sullivan County
Because I was in Forksville once, and I stopped at a little tavern there.
Oh,
What's that called?
So there's the Forksville Inn.
That's
a great spot. Yeah.
Yeah. Cute little place.
There's High Knob that's near there too. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you got your PBR on tap and
Absolutely.
stuff like that.
Now a couple new trails too.
do you have a new trail up there?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Those are my people.
Now, what beer are we drinking today?
So there's nothing better to showcase than Broken Heels. It's one of the most.
Wait a minute. Hey, Chad, you in on this? What's the deal with the plastic? Why do we have these new plastic things?
It's just easy to package, easy for the consumer.
There you go.
We're tossing beers.
That's right. We're tossing beers. Okay, so New Heels up at the Bison Beverage sells well.
Oh,
it really does. Matter of fact, when I was leaving, this gentleman was pulling some out, and he pulled out 4 too many, and it went right onto the floor. So be careful when you're in there.
Yeah.
All right, so it's light in color. It's a hazy.
Yep. Yeah.
I've had it before. It's an IPA. What's it, about 5.5?
No, it's 7%.
7.
Yeah.
7? Wow.
Yeah, it's stronger. You know, the crazy thing about Broken Heels is that it makes IPAs approachable for everybody. Mm-hmm. So, you know, a lot of people, they're thinking IPA, it's like, oh, this is some sort of like separate group for me if I'm just drinking like Miller Lite or Coors Light. Chances are you get someone to try this, they're going to love it. And that it kind of draws people into the craft consumerism. It's nice.
Now, my lack of knowledge here is going to show, but you brewed beer for a major player. And if it's hazy, it means you were lazy. That means you didn't do an extra process to filter.
That's what they used to say. Yeah. Okay. So it'd be like maybe part of your process created chill haze or an undesired effect with the product. But now haze has become such a desired thing that you have to work really hard to get it.
I gotcha.
So it's not just an accidental byproduct that used to exist maybe 15 years ago. Now it's sought after, studied. You know, people go and we'll work at a brewery to learn how to brew a really good hazy IPA.
Now with a lager, don't you have to go through another process?
So lagers and ales, like if you want like a little breakdown of that term,
sure.
It's just the species of yeast that you're using.
Okay.
So lager yeast is a different species that prefers to ferment in cooler temperatures.
Species.
Yeah. And it just takes a longer time maybe species isn't the wrong word.
Species.
Yeah. Same family, different genetics. But anyway, they ferment in cooler temperatures, and that's what makes a lager. So the process is just longer typically for a lager than an ale. Now,
do you make a lager up at New Trail?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so one of the fastest growing categories right now in craft brewing is lagering. And so we have crisp amber.
An amber lager.
Crisp lime, yep.
Okay. So can we drink that later?
Absolutely.
We'll drink here all afternoon. Now, when we talk about different kinds of beer, do you ever run into a situation where like a client wanted you to brew something or like something like... Wasn't there something that happened to you once?
Oh, yeah. So you're talking a good beer story?
Yes.
So when I was working at a different local brewery, not New Trail, we were going and putting our products into a major convenience store. I won't say which one, but we're in the room and we're selling our mainstay beers that we're brewing all the time.
Right.
Being like, hey, you want to carry XYZ beer and like, will you put us in this spot? And doing the sales thing.
Right.
And the meeting winds down, and we're about to leave, and my sales manager that was with me at the time, 2 minutes left in the meeting, blurts out, "Hey, could we do a house beer for you?" And I was like, "Damn, that's a good idea! Like, good thinking!
Yeah.
Like, way to
I
like
would love to have a house beer at the Bison Beverage.
Yeah, do like an extra ask. So the guy's like, "You know what? We were actually thinking about that," and we're like, kind of hitting, he's like, I'm like, good job, man. Like, here we go. And he's like, yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. Yeah, I'd like to brew a beer with hot dog water.
Hot dog
and then,
water.
So now you have this situation.
Fuck puts hot dog water in a beer?
Yeah, it's awesome. So, now imagine being in the situation. You have to then, like, you're with this guy that you really need to win with. We really need to get this win and get our products in their store. And now you have to, like, navigate, okay, like, how do I not do a beer that has hot dog water? How do I tell them that we don't want to do this?
I hope you didn't do it, man.
No, we didn't.
I couldn't imagine. Did you ever try anything like, I find it hard enough to even have like every now and then you get like cucumber beer. I'm like, come on now, cucumber beer.
I made a cucumber beer, or we made a cucumber beer at the brewery that I was at. But yeah, now that's part of it is like getting attention. You gotta. There's a lot of IPAs out there. There's a lot of lagers out there. Unless you're like New Trail and making them amazingly fantastic, it's hard to get noticed. So
now, do you think that at the Bison Beverage we could make a beer for like private label our own?
Well, well, can you sell about 5,000 cases for us?
Is that what it takes?
There's a certain amount that would need to be committed to brew a specific batch.
Okay.
And then, there's also a level of mind share and bandwidth that you have to have as a brewer or a producer of fine products. And, if you do it once, now you're going to have a list of people that are like, hey, let's do this. So it's a challenging thing to brew white label or house beers for people because you open up a floodgate of requests.
How many cans can you produce in a day of beer?
So like at New
I know canning it goes on. Some people can do almost 1,100 an hour.
So at my current job and my current role at New Trail, I'm not involved in the operations at all.
Okay.
They kind of saw what I did before.
You're
and
the
they're like, you just go do sales. They kind of saw maybe what I was better at.
They can do 10,000 cans a day.
That's very reasonable to think of. Yes. So like we talk in the beer world as barrels. Mm-hmm. So like if you ever go on a brewery tour, you look at the bright tank storage. Mm-hmm. That's the final vessel before packaging.
Oh, wow.
So you look at that and you kind of size those up and you're like, okay, they're probably emptying 1 to 4 of these through packaging in a day. So, if it's a 100 barrel bright tank, it's 100 times 13.7. That's how many cases they're doing. If it's a 400 barrel bright tank, 400 times 13.7. That's how many cases it would be. And then cases you times by 24, and that's how many cans. But
Chad, how many beers can you drink in a setting?
A couple. I can drink a couple.
Can you drink a couple? I can drink more when I golf. Like I can post numbers when I golf, but when
You're
it depends on
drinking beer than golfing.
I know. I golfed last Friday at the Bucknell Baseball Open. Is it an open?
Classic? Might be an open.
Fundraiser?
Might be.
Yeah?
Yeah. Let's go with it.
I went golfing with Rob Brooks once in a tournament out in Shade Mountain, and they wrapped up the whole ceremony at the end, and we came in a rainstorm an hour and a half later, and they didn't even have the awards were done, the food was wrapped up. It was embarrassing. So I don't go in many tournaments anymore.
All I do are beer scrambles. Yeah. Like if I can just hack and then lose something on the course and have to like drive back to get it, that's where I'm at. Now, so it's about the beers and losing stuff.
The podcast lasts as long as we have beer in our cups. So you're gonna have to get cranking here.
Yeah.
What's your favorite tavern?
All right, so that's we talked
about this earlier.
We did talk about this earlier, and that's an interesting question because there's a few ways to answer this. So being a person that's been involved in the beer industry and doing sales calls, I've been to probably 90% of the bars in Pennsylvania.
Yes.
So to like pick specific ones and be like, these guys are the best would be difficult. But I can tell you like my favorite type of bar.
Yeah, go for it.
And it's like where it's not that nice. And
I love a dive.
There's people that maybe like have a story.
Sure.
And it's not polished. You know what I mean? If you take me to a bar and it's like, everything's like super nice and the food's amazing and everything is to the T, I'm like, not for me. So like I can rule those out. I like selling those places beer, but as far as like going as a patron, I want to see some broken people. I want to eat some pickled eggs. I want to like, you know what I mean? That's what I'm there for.
What was that? Eggs?
Was that
deviled eggs?
Oh, no, like the pickled eggs. You know what I mean?
Pickled eggs.
Yeah, I've had a lot of arguments. Like,
really? There's pickled eggs out there? I know the bologna in the big jars.
Those are the safest foods to eat at a dive bar.
Really?
Think about it. You know what I mean? It's right there. It's preserved. It's clean. There's
There's
what
a
you go
place
for.
I went to. I was traveling through north of Williamsport. I hit a place called the Crippled Bear. Have you ever been there?
Fantastic.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
Heather's
Food
amazing.
was great. I love places like that. I can go to that all day long.
So I wouldn't put her like she's even nicer than I would pick as myself. Mm-hmm. So like Heather and the Crippled Bear is amazing. They're great people.
Yeah, I really like that place.
3 new trails on tap there too. Just
Now, when you talk about more polished, the other night we had drinks, my wife and I, over at the Barrel 135.
yeah.
That was a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
It was very nice. People were super.
So if you're like, where does Guy like to go? Josh does a fantastic job there. The food's immaculate. Everything is super perfect. It's just not my crowd. You know what I mean? That's not where Guy McCarty goes to drink 15 beers and like cause a scene and call Chad to pick me up or something like that.
Scene. I love it.
Scenes can be different things. You know, there could be a tragic scene. There could be a fun scene. You know what I mean? It's not always a negative. So
Yeah, well, there's places like up at Light Street Inn, and you go back in through those hills. There's some all the way out towards Benton. There's some great little taverns. You know where there's great little taverns is you go up to that Pine Creek.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh my God, you go up to Pine
We
Creek
still need to
and
do
like
our
every 4 miles.
We need to do our bar crawl up there.
Oh, I'm in. I'm in. I did a job up there with my other business, and I was going up there quite often, like on a bi-weekly basis, and I was just hitting them here and there, and they're like every 3-4 miles.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful. It really is. Waterville, I think it's Waterville Inn.
Yeah.
What a cutie pie place that is. I
so-
could hang there all day.
On that topic of Pine Creek, for the people that are familiar with that area,
Yeah.
you're finding me at the Wagon Wheel.
The Wagon Wheel.
The
Where's
wagon.
the
That's where
Wagon
I'll
Wheel?
be at the Wagon Wheel. You know what I mean? And then, Pine Creek and those places. I'll stop by and have a beer, but I'm hanging out and closing it down at the
Now,
Wagon
Little
Wheel.
Pine Creek, there was a place I've been to called the Little Clown Bar. It was a clown bar back in its day, and they covered it up with a mat, but it has like a new name. You ever been there?
Is it
that
Happy
little-
Acres?
Happy, yeah. It's right there at
nice.
Happy Acres.
I have a funny story about that, but I don't know if it's good for
We'll save it for our next time. So, we got football season coming up.
Yeah.
And we got the Penn State. Help me out here with your Penn State beer.
Yeah. State Light.
State Light.
Yep.
Okay. We
First-
have that at the Bison Beverage. We're going through that, by the way. You got
great.
to stop by. We're running out.
Yeah.
We're constantly going through it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the first craft beer, I think, in Beaver Stadium.
Oh, really?
So yeah, that's in the stadium and it gets a lot of attention there. Obviously, it's a great launching point for a beer.
Is it really hard to like get beer into something like that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they're very selective. You know what I mean? You got to have a story and a reason that's going to connect you to why they should be carrying your product. And
Okay.
I used to handle stuff like that in previous jobs. In this job, there's people that are up there doing that, so it's nice. I
Fantastic.
don't have to go into those meetings, but it's a lot to get into those places.
Now, do you chug?
Scott, do I chug?
Let's see it, man. Let's see some action here. Hey, here's to you.
Yeah, cheers. So
The New Trail, man.
I
You
got
guys are doing a great job.
A little story about that before I chug this real quick, Scott.
Go for it.
So I started a chug league. Literally, we had WWF style one-on-one matches of who could chug faster.
You're into that.
It was fun. No, I'm actually not into wrestling, but I'm into like just people competing in weird ways. So anyway, I was probably I think my record was 18-0.
18-0.
So if you want to maybe we want to try to finish this off, see if
I can't. I'm not a good chugger.
Okay.
I'm a poor example of a chugger.
my state.
You would do that at golf tournaments.
Oh yeah, anywhere.
Yeah, chugging competition.
I actually lost to some of your friends, Chad. That's like some of the only losses I took that season. I was probably like
Well, those
19
coal
and 2.
region friends, you didn't have a chance. Come on, man.
Slow.
All right, so yeah,
Let's see
I'll
it.
chug one for
Oh,
you,
zoom in
Scott.
on that. I wanna see this.
Since it's the middle of my workday, hey,
Exactly.
Dave, Charles, Mike at Neutral.
You're
this
working
is how I'm gonna
hard.
finish.
Promotion. Jesus Christ, look at that. Holy Christ. Did you see that?
It's Juggernaut. I'm sure that was beautiful on camera too.
I,
You have anything that's like up close, Chad?
holy shit.
Good.
That was impressive.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
Hey, did you have one of these yet?
Now,
Come on now.
Now I feel like a
no, I
side-
want to see the color.
It's like I'm a sideshow now.
Yeah,
It's
well,
like,
you are.
come watch the disgusting washed up beer guy chug beers on our
It gets
podcast.
on the beard a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Holy
It's
hell,
not
I
pretty.
love it.
No, it's,
Yeah, you would be good at the refined places. You need.
See,
yeah,
now is it
you
making
need
sense?
to be. Yeah. At the Shecky Inn. That's where you need to be. You need to be yes.
So that's a name I haven't heard. Maybe I need to check that out.
Well, you know what? It's right down the street. Oh, it's really, the place is called McSheck's.
Okay.
It's a great little tiki bar, but we'll get into that later.
All right.
You ever been up to that? What's that place? Oh gosh, in that little village, Nippin' Nose. Just like saying
The Nippin' Nose Tavern?
Nippin' Nose Tavern. That's a cute little spot.
I was just
there.
out there
love
talking
that.
to them.
Yeah, last time I was there, actually, someone crashed a plane down the street.
Wow.
The Nippin' Nose Airport. No, it's a true story.
Holy crap.
The Nippin' Nose Airport, which is about the size of the street out front.
Everyone was
here
okay, right?
On A Street. It didn't come out well, but my wife and I were in the Nippin' Nose Tavern having a drink, and that's when we heard the plane went down.
Wow.
So it's really not funny, but I'm visualizing you chugging that beer.
Yeah. No, I'd chug a beer at Nippin' Nose. I mean, they don't want to call them out. Don't run Neutral all that often there. But, I'm doing
Come on, Nippin' Nose.
I'm doing an event with them coming up, and we're going to get things
You'll
going.
get them going. You'll get them going.
I don't know if you know that. That's my mountain now. That's where I live.
Is that your mountain? You live
I'm
up
on the
in
other
Nippin'
side of
Nose.
it. I'm on the other side in Yelmsport.
Illimsport. Yeah, I know you're
That's
at
my
there.
neighborhood.
Well, let's crash these beers. Not to.
I just chugged one, Scott.
I know, but it was so impressive. I got to see it again. I could do this all day.
man.
Oh my God, he didn't even. Oh, look at.
Well, I'm not trying to cheat, but
Yeah, I hear you.
is that what this is going to just evolve into? Is just how many beers I can chug?
I don't know. We could use this again and again, right, Chad? Yeah. All right. Here's to
I feel
ya.
like I'm getting set up. Like it's like, you know what I mean? Like to catch a beer chugger, and like I chug this next one, and then like these guys walk in, they're like, "Hey, guy, like,
Hey.
you got a problem." All right, for Scott, I'll chug a second beer,
Thank you,
not
man.
because I need to chug another beer.
I'd like to thank Guy McCarty of New Trail. And I'd like to thank PennsylvaniaBeer.com.
Or wherever he's going to work at next after chugging two
He'll be at
beers.
the Bloomsburg Fair working off the free stage with a couple freak shows next to him. We'll be back next week. I hope.
Yeah, good luck.
And remember, most of all, beer is fun. Thank you.
PennsylvaniaBeer.com and Bison Beverage of Lewisburg presents Beer Time.
This podcast was produced by Stone State Entertainment.